The Nigeria Stock Exchange, in partnership with Vetiva Research today, hosted its Maiden Retail Investor Coverage Workshop with the theme Investment Masterclass, Making Your Money Work. It brought together the investors and stakeholders in the market ecosystem. In his opening remarks, Mr. Jude Chiemeka, representing the CEO of the Nigeria Stock Exchange, shared the essence of the event.
We're indeed pleased to host this event, the first in a series of investment workshops organized by the Nigerian Stock Exchange to provide vital and strategic information targeted at equipping existing and prospective investors with useful skills to effectively manage and grow financial resources at their disposal, as well as present retail investment opportunities available in the capital market. Over the next few months, you'll see various investment workshops which will be held across the country, starting with this current one that we're having here in Lagos. Investors can look forward to a regular engagement targeted at promoting financial literacy, building investor confidence, as well as the introduction of innovative and technological-driven solutions to stimulate investor participation.
The head market surveillance, Mr. Abimbola Babalola, used the occasion to give an overview of the evolution of the Nigeria Stock Exchange and its product offerings.
In those days, if you come to this building, you don't need to be told that you're actually in a market. But also, we took advantage of that digitalization process. That was why in 1997, precisely, we started our journey towards automation. And we felt what was the problem that we had then has got to do with settlement. So the first thing we did was to set up CSCS, that is Securities Clearing System, to take care of clearing and settlement of trade. Precisely, that was in April 1997. That was when CSCS became operational. In April 1999, the Nigerian Stock Exchange now moved away from the call-over, which we call open outcry, into what we call an automated trading platform where people buy and sell via computer. And since we've started that, laid that foundation, we've been actually building on that. And that is why today you can actually execute trades on your mobile phone. So let me quickly talk about the products that we offer. Because if you're a market, the next thing people will be asking is, what exactly are you selling? So the first one, which is more popular, is equities. You know, equities means that I can subscribe and be part owner of a particular company by buying shares into that particular company. But it's not only equities alone. I can also do a preference shares where, you know, I will subscribe, but the promise is that I will be given a fixed dividend. The second instrument that we trade is also bonds. You understand? And that bonds can be for all forms of government. It could be federal government bonds, it could be state bonds, it could be municipal or what we call local government bonds, and also corporate bonds can also be traded, you know, on our floor. I want to also talk about regulation because it's key. We are not just giving you a platform where people can, you know, because there is what we call information asymmetry. There are other people, participants in the market, that probably have more information than the investors. So we need to also protect those ones. So let me speak quickly as to the efforts that we're doing along that line of regulation. What we did at the Nigerian Stock Exchange was to dimension and look at who are the market participants and the players in the market, especially those that provide professional services or that gives information to people. That is why we feel we have the issuers, which are the companies. So we set up a department called Issuer Regulations. So they are the one that comes up with the pre-listing requirement and also ensure that people did not only meet with those requirements, they continue to meet with them post-listings. And that is why you see that we come up with rules that mandates people or quoted companies especially to always give reports on quarterly basis, and for everything that is happening in that particular company, they must also inform people. And that is why we say we run disclosure regime. So keep giving people information, empower them so that they can take the appropriate decision. Whether it is good news, we encourage you to tell them. Even if it is not good, please still tell them.
The workshop also featured presentation by Mr. Jayola Awokoyam, Head of Retail Sales, Vetiva Research, and also Mrs. Ariyike Daramola from the Nigeria Stock Exchange. Mr. Jude Chemeka speaks further on how NSE is positioning itself to reach out to the retail investors in the market.
The exchange is committed to increasing local participation in our market, not just on the institutional side, but more importantly on the retail side. Just like we said initially, this is not just for existing investors, but also to try and reach out to the population that are more or less excluded from the financial markets. And so we're trying to do two things: provide enough information by partnering with our broker-dealer firms to provide a more structured type of investment strategy for the retail investors, so that they don't end up investing without the required information that they need to protect their investment, which is what this workshop was all about. And also to try and foster greater participation for those that are excluded financially. So the exchange does at the moment have a new department called the Retail Investor Coverage, and that department is under the trading division of the exchange, which I head directly. And so what we're trying to do is to create enough of these sort of workshops across the all the 6 geopolitical zones in the country, just providing investor education. Also, you saw that this avenue was an opportunity for investors to ask questions that ordinarily wouldn't have come through our radar. And so that will also help in developing products that will suit them, and also provide enough solutions to their pressing problems. And so we feel by doing this on a regular basis, on a quarterly basis, we should be able to continually provide investors with the comfort that they need to continue to invest in our market. If you look at the statistics, it just shows that our market is grossly undervalued, largely because of weak investor sentiment, and that is coming from the local side. And so we hope that by investors participating in this sort of workshops, they will get the required information that they need to begin to look at their investment strategies more realistically, because exchange is not just about equities. We have fixed income products, we also have exchange traded products, and we're working on providing derivatives as well, to just help increase the sort of offerings that investors are going to be using to meet their investment objectives. And we think that this is just a good start, and we believe this can be replicated across all the 6 geopolitical zones, and we believe that that will also help ultimately improve retail investor participation in our market.
The Maiden NSE Retail Coverage Workshop is a laudable initiative by the Nigeria Stock Exchange, which should go a long way in galvanizing efforts to boost retail investor participation in the market.